Hey, first grade, welcome to Social Studies. Today, we are going to be learning all about cities. Our target says I can explain what a city is and which city I live in. So let's go ahead and get started. A city is an area where humans have settled to live. There are kind of like invisible boundaries that define the city. You're not just going to walk around and see like a big fence around each city or like a line painted on the floor or something like that. But a lot of the leaders in a city know where these boundaries are, and we kind of know them too. So, people in a city share the same water, the electricity, other utilities like internet. We go to a lot of the same stores because that's where we live, right? It doesn't make sense to go way far away to get what you need. So, in a city, you will normally find everything that you need. So, what city do we live? We live in Harker Heights. This is a map, an aerial map. That means it's from the sky above it. And this is a map of Harker Heights. And you can see all of these different stores and restaurants and things. Why do you think we would have all of those? Oh, well, yeah, because we live here. We have all of these different things because a lot of people live in this area. Now, some unique things about Harker Heights is that it's kind of a smaller suburb in the Killeen area near an army base. Not every city is near an army base. In fact, most cities aren't near one. So that is pretty cool. Now, if you notice, you're looking at this map and you're saying, Miss Lime, that's a lot of stuff. It is a lot of stuff. If you were in a small city, you probably would not have all of this stuff. I'm thinking about where my grandma and grandpa live. They live in a town called, or a city called Goshen. Do you know what? In Goshen, there's only two gas stations and one little tiny store, and that's it. And there's not hardly anything there because only a few people live in that town. But then I'm thinking about some other places like New York City, and oh my gosh, so many people live there. It would make Harker Heights look teeny tiny. So Harker Heights is kind of like a middle-sized city. So that's why we have a lot of stuff, but not everything. Well, what are some other important cities? Well, one important city would be where you are born. So Miss Lime was born in Burbank, and Burbank is a really big city. I put a picture of it right here for you. Now, I couldn't get everything in the picture, but it's still the same as Harker Heights in that everybody is sharing the same water, electricity. We all kind of have the same stores, but Burbank has a lot of stores. Another important city to know would be maybe places you've traveled or places that you like to travel. Here's a picture of London. Oh, Miss Lime loves going to London. I bet some of you have even been there. Think for a minute. What are some cities that you've been to? Some cities you've traveled to? Yeah, there's a bunch, aren't there? Another type of important city would be other places you've lived. Some of you might have lived your whole life in Harker Heights, and that's totally okay. Some of you might have lived in a bunch of different cities. Like Miss Lime has lived in Burbank. I've lived in a city called Fayetteville. I lived in Dallas. I lived in Goshen. Now I live in Harker Heights. That's a lot of different cities. And while each city is similar, there are things that are the same about the cities. They're all very different from each other. It's your turn. On Seesaw, you need to write or record yourself saying, what city do we live in? Then I want you to draw a picture of something that we can do in our city. It might be something that you can do in other cities, or maybe you can think of something that you could only do in Harker Heights. I can't wait to see what you draw for me and tell me what city we live in. Make sure you click that green check mark when you're done.